Interactive is brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello there, welcome to the most interactive 30 minutes on television. I'm Benis Abu Baidu. Hope you've been having a good day so far. Well, today on Joy News Interactive, we'll talk about parenting and what you think is the limit for parents in showing love and affection to their children. We'll also talk about the reason why people are single, because hashtag single because is trending worldwide, but I must confess that some of the reasons are quite shocking. And it's Thursday, so we'll do a throwback on a video that trended some time ago. Now, I can't wait to start reading and sharing your views on these issue and more. Now, here's how to get interactive. Get onto Facebook. Our name there is Joy News on TV. When you get there, the various issues we discuss here are posted there with the hashtag Joy News Interactive. Leave your comments in the comment section. You can also tweet at us at Joy News on TV. Alternatively, you can send me a WhatsApp message on the number 0560 800,000 0560 800 000. It's going to be an interesting show today, but right now we'll have to cross over to Parliament where the discussion on the amendment bill on the election date is ongoing.
Therefore, seek your permission.
Very well. The Deputy Minister for Petroleum, on behalf of the Minister for Petroleum, item number 9, motion.
I beg to move that the bill, the motion number 9, be heard. Historically, the petroleum industry in Ghana. Okay. I beg to move that.
So you forget. I beg to move that.
I beg to move that the bill number, the motion number 9, that the Petroleum and Production Bill 2016 be read a second time.
I move accordingly. I so move.
Yes. Yeah. Historically, the petroleum industry in Ghana consisted mainly of oil and trading based on the importation of the refined petroleum products under contractual agreements with multinational companies such as Shell, Total, etc. These were later joined by Teba Oil Refinery, TOR, which commenced its own crude oil processing around 1960. However, since the discovery of some oil reserves in commercial quantities between 1970 and 1980 offshore, the focus of the petroleum industry has expanded to include activities like exploration and production of oil. The Ghana National Petroleum Corporation was established under the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation Act 1983, PNDC L64, to undertake in Section 2(1) of PNDC Law 64 the exploration, development, production, and disposal of petroleum. Under Section 2(2) of PNDC Law 64, the corporation was also mandated to ensure that the Republic obtained the greatest possible benefit from the development of its petroleum resources. In support of this task, the Petroleum Exploration and Production Act 1984, PNDC Law 84, and the Petroleum Income Tax Act 1987, PNDC Law 188, were enacted to specifically provide the regulatory framework in which the ministry could be managed and controlled to ensure that the natural resource was developed in an efficient manner and not wasted. The corporation, in pursuance of its mandate, has been instrumental in the discovery of larger commercial quantities of oil and gas since 2007 in deep water offshore Ghana. One of these discoveries, named the Jubilee Field, has been developed and is currently in production, thus leading Ghana's petroleum industry into a new phase of actual development, production, and utilization of oil and gas resources. The discovery of the Jubilee Field has led to a heightened interest in the country's petroleum industry. However, this heightened interest has brought not only benefits but also challenges, which have led to fully protect interests of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I so moved.
Yes, you move the motion. He has moved the motion.
Yes, chairman of the committee. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion, and in so doing, present your committee's report. I would request that the Hansa Department captures the report as having been entirely read. Mr. Speaker, I will read just a few areas and the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the Petroleum Exploration and Production Bill 2016. Under our rules, second reading, need to second the motion for the second reading.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to and Production Bill 2016 was laid in Parliament on Friday, 10 June 2016 by the Honourable Minister for Petroleum 06 of the 1992 Constitution. The bill was subsequently referred by your good self to the committee. Mr. Speaker, the committee checked on the background information which is captured under item 4.0. Mr. Speaker, the object of the bill is captured under 5.0, which is to provide for and ensure safe, secure, sustainable, and efficient petroleum activities in order to achieve optimal long-term petroleum resources exploration and utilization for the benefit and welfare of the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the observations are contained in bullet point 70, the consideration of the bill. Mr. Speaker, 7.2 provides for the fiscal regime. Mr. Speaker, I would want to read here because of the that it generated. The committee noted that the passage of the bill will significantly assist the country in maximizing benefits from its petroleum resources. This is because, Mr. Speaker, the bill introduces new fiscal elements in addition to those specified under Section 19 and 20 of the PNDC Law 84, clauses 85 to 89. Mr. Speaker, the bill further seeks to increase the minimum carried interest of the state in every petroleum activity from the present 10% to 15%. Mr. Speaker, 7.3 deals with the grant of petroleum rights, and here too there's a new innovation. Mr. Speaker, introduction of recording for the first time is captured under 7.4, whereas acquisition of access to data by GMPC has been well captured under 7.5. Mr. Speaker,
the local content provision is also captured. And to the conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee has scrutinized the bill after extensive consultation with stakeholders and experts in the upstream petroleum industry on the Petroleum Exploration and Production Bill 2014, which culminated in the new bill. Mr. Speaker, the bill under consideration represents significant improvement over that pertains under P 84. It provides enhanced transparency provisions, including the requirement for competitive public tendering process and maintenance of petroleum register. It also introduces additional fiscal elements, Mr. Speaker, to reflect the country's status as an oil-producing country. Provisions have further been made in the bill towards the realization of the local content aspirations of the country and the environmental protection and sustainable exploitation.
Honourable members, if I call Honourable Katie Hammond, I'll move straight to it. You see, I shouldn't be begging members to be on their feet to catch their eye. You know the practice is that when we get on my left side, I call from the right side. So, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to contribute to the report and urge members to adopt the report for the amendment. Mr. Speaker, all the issues raised by my colleague, Honorable Asiama, has been dealt with into details when we met as a committee. In respect of 10.4, it doesn't necessarily seem to negate 10.3, that it should be competitive. But the issue is when petroleum agreements are being entered and there are competitors. At the end of the day, the minister might realize that that is not the best option and therefore can cancel it. But that does not indicate that the minister can.
Honourable member, the 10.4 that the Honourable Asiama referred to has vested discretion in the minister to cancel. No. They didn't indicate the conditions and the circumstances under which it will be cancelled. So you are giving a discretion, and under the Constitution, discretion must be fair and candid. So that is the point he's raising. So he said that, so under what did the committee address the circumstances under which that discretion will be exercised? Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In the discussion, it was indicated clearly that the processes will be spelled out in the regulation.
The minister may decide.
As to the processes,
please, is it in the amendment? Is it in the amendment that the committee has filed? No, I'm asking you. You said that it had been decided by the committee. I want to find out whether it is in the amendment that the committee has filed. Because he has raised the issue of transparency. So let us make sure that it has been addressed. Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, if you read 10.3 carefully and then 4, Mr. Speaker, says a petroleum agreement shall only be entered into after an open, transparent, and competitive public tender process. Say that subsection 3. The minister may decide not to enter. Mr. Speaker, that is not to say that the minister will cancel it.
Please, what do you understand by if you are saying that yes, you have to be open A, B, C, but at the end of the day, you decide that look, you are not going to enter the agreement. It is the effect is to you are virtually stopping the process, even after. I don't see why the difference between if you don't enter into it, into the agreement, what have you achieved? Chairman of the committee. If at the end of all the process you don't enter into the agreement, there's no agreement. That is the matter. That is the point that the member is saying. If you have to do some work there to make it more transparent, that is, you have to do it, so that you don't give a blank check to the minister. Yes. You may have to do that. Yes, honourable member, please continue.
Thank you. So when I'm
raising this question because when this bill was first laid, you withdrew it, and the understanding that you told the House was so many amendments.
Yes.
So you want to withdraw it, go to those concerns, incorporate the bill. So I'm even so. Trying on all these their issues.
Mr. Speaker, it was withdrawn, and then all the amendments which we advertised were incorporated. But Mr. Speaker, when we go back, the amendments, and Mr. Speaker, day out.
Very well, you have the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. So the issue we discussed was what can we do to ensure that it is transparent, even if the minister decides not to enter into the agreement. One was Petroleum Commission's role in the minister not deciding to do it. Two is making the reasons for the cancellation public, saying that the public will have an idea why it has been cancelled, and therefore we need to restart the whole thing. So these were the questions we put, and they indicated clearly that when a decision is taken, there will be Petroleum Commission will play a role. It's not like the minister will just decide.
Have you filed amendments in this regards, the committee? Have you filed amendments in that direction? Yes, honourable member on the floor. You are on. Why are you?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, when we discussed it, they said this will be spelled out in the regulation that will come with it. And in fact, the red part of the regulation.
So honourable member, so the point the member is raising is that, look, the way it is captured now, if we keep it like that, it raises an issue. So we have to agree with him and see how you address those issues that he's raising. For example, if you can in regulations to determine the circumstances under which it will be cancelled, then you are addressing the issue.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member is a member of the committee. I was thinking that if anything at all, he's a senior member of the committee. He could introduce. He could say that, please, he could say that he's introducing an amendment. And to this direction, Mr. Speaker, nobody stops him from introducing an amendment. So if he says he doesn't agree to his own report, he should just...
Honourable members, do you know why I'm raising this issue? And I'll continue to raise this as long as I'm on this chair. You remember, the came some time ago and brought an agreement for the House to approve. After the House, the rest of the story is known to all of you in this House. And these days, the boundaries of democracy continue to expand. At times, we approve things. Other organizations write for a copy of the report of the committee. They write to me, the debate, the report, and all those things. So when somebody raises the issue of transparency, it is important for the chair to find out whether those things, those matters have been addressed. Otherwise, that will be the impression that will be created that the issue of transparency has not been addressed. Have you filed an amendment to that effect that the regulation will come out to address the circumstances under which the minister might decide not to enter into the agreement? Have you filed an amendment to that effect?
Mr. Speaker, we've taken note, and since the report is still before you...
That is what you should have done from the beginning, by considering and say that we will address it.
Mr. Speaker, you know as a guest very well, you know the way I'm frank. Mr. Speaker, you have always known me even when we were... Mr. Speaker, I always... Mr. Speaker, several times that we have met on this issue, I've spoken, and they know it. It's all over. They are aware. At any committee level, we met just last weekend at Lansdowne. I spoke so loudly. They are aware. The ministers are there. I'm not hiding this fact from them. So, honourable member, please give him that respect that I'm introducing something that is new. That's a surprise. No, a surprise at all. They have known my view on this issue since we started this bill. Even when we went to Norway, it was a major issue between me and other colleague members.
Because I've always stood on this point, and I'm not the type who will come here and give surprises. They know it. I will tell you. And when we met, I told them I'm going to raise this issue. Yes. I'm not ending here. I'm going to file an amendment to that effect myself, that we should delete 10 subclause 4. I'm going to file an amendment, but this about principles we are debating. Second reading is about principles of the bill. That is why I'm bringing out all these concerns, that the bill has something to cure, and that something is about lack of transparency in the existing one. So I'm reading according to the Speaker what our practice here says about the principle that we are addressing now. And the principle is that let us cure those defects in the existing one so that Ghana will benefit. That's my concern. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. In the new bill, we realize that the fiscal regime has been significantly improved. And one of the issues was the type of regime we use. Is it pure production sharing or concession? And we did an extensive work by engaging academics, a civil society organization, and we came to the realization that irrespective of the type of regime you use, you will come to the same results. And therefore, the committee came to a conclusion that we should maintain the hybrid that is currently being used. Mr. Speaker, in so I thank you very much for the opportunity given me to contribute. And I urge members to adopt the report as amended we have in the report. Thank you.
Honorable Ranking Member, Mines Energy Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to this motion. Mr. Speaker, let's put it on record. There's so much talk about this particular bill that it seems to be the most excellent piece of legislation on earth. Mr. Speaker, there's so much talk in the public about what do you call them, civil society and all that, about the issues or the procedures preceding the introduction of this bill in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, yes, this bill has a few new developments here and there, opens up a few things. But let there be no doubt that at the time that in fact, Mr. Speaker, to this extent, of trying to see there was some hydrocarbons in our and which was inherited by the Kufuor, and in the end, Mr. Speaker, led to the discovery of oil in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the system was not that bad. This whole thing about open transparency and all that this is about the only legislation which seems to be introducing, Mr. Speaker, openness into our structure. Mr. Speaker, it's patently false. Mr. Speaker, during the days that we had to go through the processes to get people to discover oil in Ghana, Mr. Speaker, same procedures were gone through. 4 or 5 people showed interest in acreage. Mr. Speaker, the bids were presented to the relevant authorities and then to the minister, Mr. Speaker, who went back to GMPC, who went through the processes, and then in the end, the one company with the requisite and physical, regulatory, and all the abilities, Mr. Speaker, was selected. That seems to be what has now been translated into a bill of this nature. But is this all talk over the place that during the time of the discovery, we didn't do much, we gave our acreage away, there was not much transparency? Mr. Speaker, let's get that background right. That is patently untrue. We should give credit to those who were in charge, our government, the people at GMPC, and those who took part in the processes. That was the situation. Mr. Speaker, you come to this particular bill, and then you talk about the fiscal petroleum sharing, or we should go the concession agreement and the hybrid thing that we have. A lot of things have happened in the interim. Some people accosted us at what is the place? Ada, all sorts of insult. They seem to suggest that they are the only repository of knowledge on these energy matters in this country. Mr. Speaker, the system as it existed before this bill served us well.
it was decided that have the best of the what we call the concession agreement and the petroleum sharing agreement, have the best of these two regimes and incorporate them to form what we call the hybrid. That is the hybrid. Is this one? It is not new. People are going on and on and on about, well, we don't like this. Particular group of individuals are insisting that you should go for only petroleum sharing. And they brought this spurious argument, and Mr. Speaker, some very dangerous documentation, that they were insisting that they were the only people who know about this arrangement, so we should adopt their position. There was a lot of argument. In any event, Mr. Speaker, we went all around. If the House doesn't know, the country doesn't know, Mr. Speaker, we're going around half of the world to make sure that there's a proper input into this bill. So we have the hybrid agreement. We think it has served as well. That is what is in all the oil agreements that we have had so far, and that is what is in this bill. Yes, of course, we'll talk about transparency, because a few things seem to suggest that there's no transparency. Nothing should detract, and I've said that I'm at the risk of repeating myself, nothing should detract from the extent of the transparency that guided us in our dealings with the oil companies, Mr. Speaker, which led to the discovery of oil. Mr. Speaker, there has been this business about whether the minister has got the right to do those. I see that, Mr. Speaker, your good self has been interested in it. This is the second consideration. It is true, and my colleague, my chairman, sometimes gets this wrong, that Sema is a member and whatever, and that is not how it works. It is true, Mr. Speaker, on all the occasions that we've met, I think one or two other colleagues have said that that particular clause doesn't sit well with them. Because if you said that you have to do open transparency, this and that, and then at the bottom, the clause stop, you take myself, you are by the